The case against one of the most politically powerful men in Virginia Beach moved forward today.
The special prosecutor on the case involving Mayor Will Sessom says he violated the state's conflict of interest laws when he voted on projects that benefited Town Bank. Now, at the time, Sessoms worked for the bank and served as its board president. This morning, Commonwealth's attorney Mike Doucette addressed the media about the case. One of the many key points made was Mayor Sessom's fate is out of Doucette's hands.
As far as the punishment is concerned, I don't decide what the punishment is. The General Assembly sets forth the range of punishment as far as these particular offenses. Some are Class 3, some are Class 1 misdemeanors. Class 1 misdemeanors are jailable. The General Assembly said these are Class 3 and they're not jailable. So that's not a question necessarily for me. That might be a question for any member of the General Assembly or the State Senate.
10 Your Side's Andy Fox was at the news conference this morning. He joins us now live outside the Virginia Beach Courthouse.
So, Andy, what else did Doucette have to say about any possible punishment facing Mayor Sessoms?
Well, this is what we know right now. Doucette really laid out what was going on. He acknowledged that all of his investigations stemmed from a published report. There were over 60 votes. He has narrowed down the only qualifying ones to 5 votes involving 3 projects. You heard him say there is no jail time. These are Class 3 misdemeanors with a fine up to $500 each. He laid out the charges against Sessoms to us earlier today. Standing in front of the Virginia Beach Circuit Courthouse, Special Prosecutor Michael Doucette laid out the charges against Virginia Beach Mayor Will Sessom.
The allegations in this particular matter are that Mayor Sessoms failed to make the public declarations that were required by statute.
Doucette reiterated that if a public official has a personal interest in a transaction, they must abstain from the transaction or make a number of public declarations.
You shall do this. You shall make these declarations if you have a personal interest.
Mayor Sessoms has said he never knowingly made a vote that he thought violated the Conflict of Interest Act, that the votes in question were consent agenda items, no opposition from the public, and recommended for approval by staff. Does that make a difference in showing what was in Mayor Sessoms' heart when he voted? Did not mean to angle for his employer and its customers.
Conflict of Interest Act does not differentiate between consent agendas and actual items that are voted on individually.
Now, former Virginia Beach Commonwealth's attorney Harvey Bryant had said that this, no matter what happens, it would not end, even if Will Sessoms were found guilty and convicted, that it would not mean removal for office. Upon further examination of this, though, it clearly states in the State Conflict of Interest Act that upon conviction, a judge may order the forfeiture of such office or employment. So it is in the realm of possibility that if Will Sessoms is found guilty, that he could, by order of the judge, be removed from office. But as Harvey Bryant, the former Commonwealth's attorney, said, very impractical improbable that that would happen, impractical and improbable that that would happen, that a judge most likely would leave it up to the voters to decide the fate of the public official once all of this has ended in court. So that is a little bit of tying that together to let you know that it could end with his removal from office, but likely would not, that a judge would leave it up to the people to decide his fate in the public hands as a public official. I'll have more at 12:30. Guys, back to you.
Hey, Andy, what's the status of the trial, when it will be held and where?
Well, very interesting about that. Michael Doucette kind of sprung it on the Will Sessoms and his attorneys December 7th. He acknowledged that he did not give them a lot of advance notice on that, so that could change. But December 7th, here in district court, that would not be with the jury, it would just be with the judge. If he were to lose, he would then appeal to circuit court, where he could then ask for a jury to hear the case. But December 7th, most likely, my feeling, that will be pushed back. Back to you.
And one more question. Your feeling that it will be pushed back, do you think there will be a motion to move it? Because we got a special prosecutor from out of town. What about the location of the trial?
Really interesting question. I did ask that. They most likely would not move it to a new jurisdiction. They would likely bring in a substitute judge from somewhere else. They would absolutely have to do that. Bring in a substitute judge, like, say, from the Eastern Shore, which has happened before. Bring them in to sit at the bench trial. And then if it were a jury, Doucette also said that he thinks that they could probably find a jury to hear this case, but they would have to bring in a special judge, a substitute judge, to hear the case because of all the past relationships that Will Sessoms may have had with judges and with prosecutors.
Andy Fox in Virginia Beach, thank you very much. Straight ahead to the trial now in December. Meantime, Tenio Side's Andy Fox and Jason Marks and Chris Horn are all working together to gather new information on the charges Mayor Sessoms now faces. Our complete continuing coverage picks up on Wavy News 10 at 4.